It's that time of year, and we're enjoying spring finally arriving in all of Michigan, right here on the Travel Michigan radio program. Lots of things happening, of course. The blossoms are starting to blossom, as we mentioned. The lawns are starting to get a little greener. At least the snow is starting to melt. And we have some great, important openings of various attractions all around the state. Right, Michelle?
We do, and things are getting wild in Battle Creek. We are headed to the Binder Park Zoo, and we're talking with Carrie Parker, who's the marketing manager there. And welcome to the show, Carrie.
Thank you.
And you guys have your big opening. It's happening this weekend, and you know, this is just, you guys have so much going on at the zoo. Is there anything new or exciting for this year?
Well, we do have a lot of things going on. It's always a busy time of year for us. We have some new exhibits that we're working on building right now. Last year, you may remember, we rescued 3 black bears from Africa. We rescued 3 black bears from Alaska.
Oh.
And we are going to be making a new home for them this year. They had a temporary exhibit last year, but they have outgrown it. So, just come out and see them. They are going to be where our cheetahs used to be, so we're going to be remodeling that exhibit, and it's going to open sometime this summer. And we're excited to bring our cheetahs up to Africa this year. They've been in the east side of the zoo, so now they're going to be up there, and it's just going to be exciting to be able to see them and have them up there in Africa. Our giant Aldabra tortoise, we are building a new exhibit for him as well. So we're excited about that, and we just hope people come out and just see all these new things that are happening.
Well, there are so many questions I have just from your opening statements. Like, I'll have to find out how you pronounce that tortoise thing in just a minute. But Aldabra, did I get that right?
Aldabra, yeah.
I can't believe it. Well, you mentioned Africa. You said that you're having the cheetahs come to Africa. Explain that.
Well, currently, right now, our cheetahs are in the east portion of the zoo, and it's sort of been a goal. We've always wanted to bring them up to Africa, so we have some space for them, and I think it makes sense for them to be there because, they are from Africa. Our wild dogs that we currently have right now in Africa, they're going to be moving down to a temporary exhibit in the other portion of the zoo, and that's where the cheetahs are going to be, in the old wild dog exhibit.
So the Africa exhibit is like a big section of the zoo, right?
It is. It's a 50-acre exhibit with an 18-acre savanna within that. So it's a pretty big space. Being nonprofit, we do have to wait for funding to come through to be able to build new exhibits and bring new animals in. So currently the wild dogs are going to be in a temporary exhibit. Guests can still see them, but in the future we're going to bring them back up to Africa and have a new exhibit for them up there as well.
Well, in the Africa exhibit, is this an area where several of the species of animals are kind of interreacting and they're in the same space without walls and borders and such?
Well, we have an 18-acre savanna, and that's where we have kudu and bontebok and giraffe and zebra, some different bird species. They're all out there on that savanna. So when you get off of the tram, it transports you to Africa, and you walk out and you see this African village with thatched roofs, and it's just very authentic looking. And then you walk and you can overlook this beautiful panoramic view and see all of these animals just grazing together, and it's how they would normally be in the wild.
Yeah, it really is a beautiful view too. And you walk up there, and it is as though you're on another continent and you're looking across that savanna and you see these animals, especially the giraffes. Tell us about them.
Yes, the giraffe is one of the key attributes to wild Africa. You can get nose-to-nose with a giraffe and hand feed them, and it's such a unique opportunity, and I love going up there and watching the kids just get so excited about that. And I just think it's so amazing when we can bring children and animals together like that. It really helps make that awareness and develop that love for wildlife.
I don't remember. Can you actually feed the giraffes from that location, or is that only during special times?
It's all summer long. So you get off the tram, and then you do have to walk a little ways. It's called Twiga Overlook, and there you can purchase giraffe lettuce leaves. So you can feed them all day long if you want to, and if you don't want to, you can still go up there and try to pet them. They often prefer if you have a lettuce leaf.
Yeah, I understand. I act the same way. But they're very inquisitive, right?
Yeah, I think that they are, and I think people just really love getting up there and seeing them. They don't often want to be petted. I think they just prefer to eat the lettuce leaves.
Also, can you blame them?
I'm there with them. I'm the same way with food.
Are there other can't miss exhibits? I mean, what other types of animals outside of the African exhibit do you guys feature?
Well, we just announced a new snow leopard that has arrived to the zoo. His name is Raj. And I don't know if you remember, back in 2008, we had our first snow leopard cub at the zoo, and her name is Shanti. She since went to the Akron Zoo and has had a cub of her own. And now Raj, which is her cub, has come back to live with us at the zoo. He's 11 months old, and he's pretty charismatic, and he still is very cub-like. So I think this summer visitors are going to see him bouncing around his exhibit and playing with balls and just kind of acting very cub-like.
Now, you mentioned the bears, the three little bears. Are they young as well?
Well, they're not so young anymore. They're getting very big. They were maybe 3 months old when we had rescued them last year. So they really need a space that's going to be much bigger for them, which is why we have moved them to another exhibit space. So that'll be done sometime this summer. But it was very amazing to be able to bring them, and I think everybody likes to see bears up close. So it's just a very unique species that we have at the zoo.
Well, you can see them in Michigan in the wild, but it's so seldom, and that you can see them, except just you can see their kind of hind ends usually running away through the woods.
Right.
In the UP. So it's
their
nice.
Hind ends, not their faces.
Yeah,
that's
true. And I have walked into them before, and they're usually rather timid and will want to get away from you. But in this case, you can be right up there with them and see them up close.
Yeah, and it's kind of one way that we can kind of help teach about the conservation of these animals, and just to provide some understanding and what you should and shouldn't do when you come across them in the wild.
Well, I have to ask you, the Aldabra tortoise, is that like one of those really big tortoise?
Yeah, he's over 600 pounds. So he's a very, very large tortoise. His name is Al. So we're really excited. It's going to be a great exhibit for him. It's just going to be bigger, and it's going to allow him to be able to get out a little bit earlier in the year. It does have to be warmer, but the exhibit that he had before was kind of old, and it just needed to be updated.
Do you have any webcams by any chance?
We don't currently have any. We have in the past, but we don't have any going on right now.
Just another reason to go visit Binder Park Zoo. So there we go. Hope people do. It's going to be a lot of fun, a good season again, and they are now open for business. Recommend you check out Binder Park Zoo over in Battle Creek. Want to thank Carrie Parker for joining us today, marketing manager of Binder Park. And if you'd like more information, just go to binderparkzoo.org. There are so many ways to get information on places like Binder Park Zoo these days, and one of the best places to go for information about great attractions like Binder Park and all the other fantastic zoos and museums and other attractions that we have throughout the state would be to go to Michigan.org. Michigan.org is the #1 state travel website now for 6 years in a row. I have to tell you, though, I have started to, even me being the kind of anti-social media guy, I have started to use Facebook more often and go to the Pure Michigan Facebook. And
there's a lot of fantastic photos from fans, and it's really incredible.
Well, and I'm just so impressed with people who are out there traveling around the state, and there seems to be a great desire to kind of share their travel experiences with the rest of the world. So that's kind of cool when they come to the Pure Michigan Facebook, and same thing with our Twitter and Pinterest and all those others as well.
Yeah, and we should add, if you are on Instagram or Twitter, use that Pure Michigan hashtag so that people can share it and share the photos on the Facebook page. But definitely that hashtag is key.
It really is. So, consider that, and make sure to do all your planning in advance as you travel around the state. I highly recommend that. You can get all the information you need by going to Michigan.org, and if you do want a printed piece, just make sure to order your travel magazine directly from us. And you can do that starting at the website. All right, so check that out today. You'll be happy. We're going to find out about Tullymore Golf Resort next, right here on Travel Michigan, where your trip begins at Michigan.org.